back, everybody. Dr. Peter Glidden here with you with the second hour. We've got Colin hanging on from Belfast, so we're going to get right back to it. Colin, are you still with me?
I'm still with you, Dr. Glidden. Thank you.
All right, good. So we got the diet dialed in. Now, the next thing, because of the center of gravity of this illness with the small intestine, right, it's probably going to be problematic to give your daughter the Beyond Tangy Tangerine multiple vitamin, multiple mineral supplement because it has 115 fruits and vegetables in it, which, because of the intestinal problem, she probably has multiple food allergies because that just comes along for the ride. So that wouldn't be my first choice. My first choice for her would be something called Tropical Plus. So there's a longevity liquid multivitamin, multi-mineral supplement called Tropical Plus. I would give her 1 bottle of Tropical Plus a month. 1 bottle of Tropical Plus a month. The next thing I would give her would be 1 bottle of Osteo FX Plus, Osteo FX Plus a month. That's the white liquid calcium. And that's all that she would need, 1 bottle of that a month. The third thing would be the EFA Plus, like Edward Francis Albert, EFA Plus, 1 bottle of that as well a month. The fourth thing would be the selenium. Everybody needs selenium, especially someone with an intestinal tract that's chronically inflamed. The recommendation at her body weight would be 2 bottles of Ultimate Selenium a month. 2 bottles of Ultimate Selenium a month. And the secret sauce for her is going to be the Mackey Plus, MAQUI Plus, Mackey Plus. I would give her, if entirely possible, 3 bottles of the Mackey Plus a month. 3 bottles of the Mackey Plus a month, all right? 3 bottles of the Mackey Plus a month. The Mackey Plus is a superfruit in addition to aloe vera. And aloe vera is a healing herb that's very, very soothing to the intestinal tract, and it's going to go a long way towards knocking down the inflammation of her intestinal tract. Now, the last thing to give her here, and it's probably necessary, is going to be the digestive enzymes, because she needs help digesting her food because of the intestinal problem, and the better digested her food is going to be, the more reasonable it is to assume the easier it's going to be for her compromised intestinal tract to suck it up. So she's going to need 1 bottle of Ultimate Enzymes a month, 1 bottle of Ultimate Enzymes a month. She also needs to be salting her food so that it tastes good, because her digestive acid in her stomach needs to be really strong. And one of the things that needs to be really strong is salt. So just make sure she's salting her food so that it tastes good. Eliminate the 10 bad foods. Put her on those nutritional supplements for, at 100 pounds, man, you should see a noticeable positive improvement within 4 weeks. I mean, there should be a noticeable improvement in 4 weeks. And then once we get a noticeable, measurable improvement, then we just hold the course and see how far the therapeutic takes us, right? We have to hold the course and see how far the therapeutic takes us. Now, the last thing I want to counsel you about here is mindfulness, okay? Now, the healing of an intestinal problem often it's like a roller coaster, and when we hit a bump on the roller coaster and things start to go south, things start to get worse, 99 times out of 100 it gets worse because the person has eaten or drunk something that their body is intolerant to. And it's a very easy thing to overlook. It's a very easy thing to miss, because usually these food sensitivities are delayed. So, she'll have cheese at 10 o'clock in the morning, and at 11 o'clock she gets a flare-up. But you're not going to put those two together because it happened an hour later. So as we go down the road here, if she hits a bump, if anything flares itself up, the first thing I want you and her to think about is, what was the very last thing she had to eat or drink? And if you keep a running list like that, it'll be much easier for you to figure out what's going on here. And, in addition to the 10 bad foods that everybody must avoid, there might be 10 other foods that she has to avoid, because when she eats them, it causes a little bit of a flare-up. This is often the case with kids that have a compromised intestinal tract, right? So, but, you know, if you're mindful about it, you can figure it out. And, man, I got to tell you, figuring that out really takes a big load off, because if you're not aware of that, you're going to be back and forth to the doctor's office all the time, and it's going to be a flippin' nightmare, Colin. I mean, I tell you what, you've already had a 12-year nightmare, quite frankly. It's remarkable to me, isn't it, that people who practice such incompetent medicine are still, I mean, they still have jobs. I mean, doesn't that just blow your mind?
It absolutely does, Dr. Glidden, because I don't know if people realize what you're telling them here, because we went to the head pediatrician of Northern Ireland, very nice people, very well-informed people, good-intentioned people, and they just kept saying, come back in 6 months, come back in 6 months, come back in 6 months, for 10 years. 10 years.
Yeah. That's crazy, man. Well, you can't fix stupid, Colin. And the problem that we're up against here, buddy, is that the information that we have access to is, it's cutting edge. Even though it's been around for, decades, there's only a handful of us that have been populating this message, and because the other guys are so horrible at what they do when it comes to chronic disease, things are really starting to reach a boiling point here all across the world. I mean, economies are collapsing because of the cost of medical care, and it's just nuts. So you really want to give yourself and your family a big pat on the back for having the wherewithal to have an open mind to find us. That's the biggest step. So now you have to apply the therapeutics and check it out. And I'm assuming that you have an avenue. There's some way that you already have set up to order this stuff and get it into Belfast. Is that correct?
I can rely on a friend from Colorado, maybe to get it shipped over, because it's almost impossible to get it over here, Longevity, and it's double the price as well.
Yeah. So if you have friends in the States and they can order it for you and then just skybox it to you or ship it over to you through UPS or FedEx, that's a better way to do it, right? All right, Colin. Look, man, I appreciate the phone call. We've got lots of people waiting. I wanted to give you a lot of time, and I'm happy to have done it. Please call me back every once in a while to check in and let me know how your daughter's doing, and I'll look forward to it, Colin. Best of luck to you. Thanks so much.
Will do, sir. Thank you very much.
All right, my pleasure. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. An international caller. We had one yesterday. We are going global, and I love it. Right now, we're going to South Carolina. It looks like Kendall, am I pronouncing that correct, has a question about heart murmurs and Epstein-Barr syndrome. Welcome aboard, Kendall. You are live. Did I get your name right? Hello, South Carolina. South Carolina, come on in. Where'd you go, South Carolina? Hello. Well, it looks like we've lost South Carolina. We're going to see if Jerry from Massachusetts has anything he'd like to share with us. Welcome aboard, Jerry. It's your turn on Fire Your MD now. You are live.
Dr. Glidden, how you doing? It's an absolute pleasure to speak with you. 25 years old. I've come down with a cavernous hemangioma on my left shoulder. I have a 2.5 centimeter lesion with a cluster of about 20 angiomas coming up within a 6-inch space around it.
When did it happen?
It started as what seemed to be a pimple about 8 months ago, and over a few months span, it's just been growing more and more.
Yeah, and has there been anything different in your life, Jerry? I mean, what's different? Are you exercising now or doing hot yoga or changed your diet and you're vegan now? Or, is there anything different in your life?
There is a couple things that I've taken notice to. I've been trying to stay away from the fluoride in the water, and I've been exclusively drinking out of plastic bottled water for about a couple years now. And I have seen links between estrogen mimickers and methylbromide poisoning causing angiomas, if you have any insight on that.
That makes you the smartest man in class, Jerry. You want a job? That's awesome. You're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct. There's all kinds of crap, especially if you let the plastic water bottle sit in the sunlight or in the back seat of a car in the summer and it gets heated up. That's the worst, because the estrogen mimickers that are in the plastic will leach into the water, and then the more of that you drink, you might as well be drinking soy milk. It's got so many estrogen mimickers in it, and that, of course, can cause cavernous hemangiomas, right? So it's entirely possible that has a lot to do with it, man. So what you want to do is ditch the plastic bottles for Nalgene. You want to get Nalgene.
Okay.
And, get a pony up and get a good water filter, or just go to, the supermarket and get, often in like Whole Foods, they have a big water filter right there where you bring your own containers and you can just fill them up. But honestly, the cheapest way to do it over time is to just pony up and buy a water filter for yourself. And
absolutely. And I'm on a Healthy Start Pack a month as well as Rebound. I'm having these multiple angiomas around it spread. It's in a very bad problem area for surgery because it is right on my shoulder, and it's getting to the point now where it's starting to carry up around into my neck, growing at about 3 centimeters in the next month here. So I'm very curious to see if you have anything, if I should detox my thyroid gland, if I should be ingesting anything to clean out my system of these halogens.
No, I don't think you need to do that. What I think that you need to do is you need to support and promote the structure and function of your blood vessels, right? Because, oh, by the way, I've neglected to tell the listening audience that a cavernous hemangioma, it's a blood vessel malformation. It's relatively large blood-filled cavities, and, it's kind of like blood vessels gone wild, right? Blood vessels gone wild. So what we do to support and promote the structure and function of blood vessels is give you more copper. Because in order for blood vessels to be healthy, they need to have a lot of elasticity to them. And elasticity is conferred to the body through the mineral copper. So you are probably deficient in copper. And another thing that you could do would be to, do a little Google search and see if there's a relationship between the bottled water leaching copper from your body. See if there's a link there. I'm going to bet you 25 cents that there is. Anyways. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Peter Glidden. We're wrestling up some healing here, talking to Jerry from Massachusetts. He's got a cavernous hemangioma. All right, so Jerry, look, here's the deal, man. Here's what I would do to support and promote the structure and function of your skin. You got to take more glucogel. All right, take some glucogel. How much do you weigh, man?
170, 5'10".
All right, so you need 18 glucogel a day. 18 glucogel a day. 6 with breakfast, 6 with lunch, 6 with dinner. I do that for 90 days, all right?
Okay.
You're going to have to figure out how many bottles that is a month. It's probably 2 bottles of the 240 count, whatever. You can do math, okay?
Mm-hmm.
The other thing you need to do is I would do 4 bottles of selenium a month. 4 bottles of selenium a month. That's 12 selenium a day. 4 with breakfast, 4 with lunch, 4 with dinner. And here's why. Your liver is intimately involved with the detoxification of crap that shouldn't be in the body, number one. And number two, it's also intimately involved with the metabolization, the proper metabolization of hormones, right? One of the things that your liver does is it upregulates or downregulates hormone production. So in order to have healthy hormone levels, it's always wise to have a healthy liver. And selenium is to the liver what calcium is to the bones. I mean, selenium is probably the single most important nutrient that you can feed your liver. So I want you to overdo it in the selenium department. And there's one more thing I want you to do. Well, and this is, of course, in addition to everything that you're already doing, okay?
Okay.
All right. So as an experiment, I want you to take one of the selenium capsules, and I want you to open it up. It's a little gel cap. You can pull it apart, right? And I want you to dump about a quarter of the selenium powder into a little, like a contact, those little things that hold contact lenses overnight?
Correct, yes.
Well, put a little bit of the powder, like a quarter of the capsule of the powder, into the contact lens container, and then get some of Youngevity's colloidal silver, and put 2 or 3 drops of the colloidal silver on top of the selenium powder, and it'll turn it into a paste. And when you put the colloidal silver or any other liquid on it, the selenium is going to turn bright purple. It's going to turn bright purple. That's what it should do, okay? It's going to turn bright purple. So you get a Q-tip, and then you mix the colloidal silver in with the selenium until you make a little paste. Make a little paste out of it. And then on one little tiny corner of the hemangioma, as a little tester, I want you to paint the selenium colloidal silver paste on a little tiny corner of the hemangioma, and then put a little bandage over it. All right? And I want you to repeat that 3 or 4 times a day. And of course, right before bed, put a new batch of the selenium paste on it. I want you to do that for 7 days. And look to see what happens to the part of the hemangioma that you painted the selenium colloidal silver paste on. If it helps it to get better, then you can just go crazy with it. One of the things that may happen here in the healing process is that it may provoke a little bit of a bleed, because oftentimes as things like this, little tumory parts of the body start to heal themselves, as they detach from the surface of the skin, they're going to, there's a little bit of raw tissue that's underneath there, just the same way that kind of, if a little wart falls off, there's a little raw tissue under it, you got to bandage it and make sure you don't get a secondary infection. So I would, if it works, man, I don't know if this is going to work or not. I've seen this work on all kinds of skin tumors. If it works, then I would just, go after the hemangioma a little bit at a time with the paste, right? And you're going to know in 7 days whether this works or not. And this is a fascinating treatment that I learned from the commander, and it's very effective. I took care of a little precancerous mole on my body with it. I've seen cancers drop off of the skin, cancerous growths on the skin, drop off of the skin with this little treatment. So I would check it out, all right? So it's colloidal silver with the selenium powder. Make a paste, apply it, and just be careful that you don't engender, any type of a secondary infection. And one of the things that you can use, if the little tumor starts to peel off, and, there's a little bit of raw skin underneath it, you just soak that raw skin with colloidal silver. Just spray the crap out of it with colloidal silver and then bandage it, and then change the bandage a couple times a day. Spray the crap out of it with colloidal silver, bandage it, and so forth and so on. But it's going to be an interesting all right, I've never done this with a hemangioma. I've always wanted to. So check it out. And call me back. Let me know how it goes, Jerry.
Excellent. I've got glucose gel, 2 bottles a month, 4 bottles of selenium a month, quarter pound. Take a quarter of the pill, put it in the contact lens case, put 2 or 3 drops of the colloidal silver, turn into a paste, test an area for 7 days. I appreciate the advice. Mainstream doctors have absolutely no treatment for this.
That makes you the smartest man in class, Jerry. We're going to go right to Ann Arbor, Michigan, and talk to Pamela. Wants to fine-tune her supplement program. Welcome back, Pamela. You are live.
Hi, Dr. Glidden. Thanks for taking my call.
Yeah.
I need your help to fine-tune my supplement program. I weigh about 148 pounds. I'm 5'9½", and my issues are osteoarthritis, sweet cravings after meals, tinnitus, and leg cramps in the early morning, occasionally, a couple times a week. I've been taking the 90 Essential Nutrients Plus, a lot of other things, for 6 months. I've been gluten-free. I'm avoiding all the foods on your bad foods list. And I'm taking 3 tablespoons of the Ultimate Classic per day, 2 tablespoons of the Caltati at bedtime, 15 glucogels a day, 4 selenium per day, 4 sweeties per day, and 3 multi-EFAs. And I was just wondering if there's anything else I can do to improve my results. I don't think I'm absorbing nutrients still very well, and it's been 6 months off of gluten. But I was mostly a vegan for 23 years, so I'm sure I did a lot of damage.
Yeah, it's interesting. All right, so what I would do for 14 days, double the Ultimate Classic dose, double the calcium dose, and double the Sweeties dose for 14 days.
Okay.
So whatever you're now hold on now. As you double it,
yes,
you may experience aggravations because your system, your intestinal tract, may be compromised in the absorbability department. So if when you double the dosage of those particular supplements, you get diarrhea, then you have to, I still want you to take double the amount that you're taking, but you have to spread those doses out over the course of the day so that you make each individual dose a little bit more dilute, okay?
Okay.
If that makes sense. Now, so the only time that this program doesn't work is if you're not absorbing it efficiently or you're not taking enough. And because of the veganism, you're right that the most probable thing to consider is you're just not absorbing stuff efficiently. And the best way to test that at this point in time, because you've been a good girl with being gluten-free and you've been doing the supplements that, the way that we told you to do it, is up the ante with the classic and the calcium and the Sweeties, and that should deliver noticeable results within 14 days. Have you experienced any positive benefit since you've been doing this at all?
I feel great. My energy's good. It's just I can still see, the calcification on my joints and my knees crack when I sit in low, in postures. And yeah, I'm just hoping that will heal.
How's the ringing in the ears?
It's never been loud, but it's always been there. And I don't know. It might be a little less.
Have you ever tried? Have you tried the CM cream? Have you done that inside the ear canal?
I haven't. I've used it on my heel because a year ago I bought a pair of shoes and it was rubbing on my right heel and it actually caused a swelling where the Achilles tendon attached to the heel bone. Yeah. And I thought at first it was bursa, but it feels more bony. So I'm thinking, do bunions occur on your heel?
It makes you the smartest girl in class. Correct the mundo.
Okay.
And you've got big time calcium trouble here, right? Big time.
Yeah, because that hasn't gone down, and I'm kind of hobbling with it, and that's the only place that it actually kind of hurts a little.
Yeah. Well, then, doubling up on the calcium and the Ultimate Classic should help within 14 days. But don't neglect to put a gob of the CM cream on the end of a Q-tip.
Yep.
And gently swab your ear canal on the side of your head that you hear the ringing.
Okay.
Wait 30 minutes and see if the ringing in the ear is reduced. And if it is, then you can use the CM cream as necessary to knock that down. You just have to be careful when you're sticking Q-tips in your ear canal, but you're a big girl. You can figure it out. All right?
Yeah, the ringing in my ears doesn't bother me. I've had it for years. It's very low key, but I know it's probably, because of the cranial nerve impingement, and so I'm hoping that'll get better. And I know my body's got a lot of healing to do, so it's probably prioritizing it.
Well, let's up the ante for 14 days, see what happens.
Okay. Would it be good for me to take enzymes? I know you've talked about
It's never a bad idea. It's never a bad idea, especially with absorption issues, because, another thing that will help absorption is by doing the root beer belly or any type of intestinal probiotic that you want.
Okay.
So taking a digestive enzyme. Now, the trick with the digestive enzymes is you got to do it at the beginning of the meal.
Right.
If you take it in the middle or at the end, you're actually going to hurt your digestion. But if you take it before or at the very beginning of the meal, you're good to go. And the probiotics, the best time to take those is immediately before bed. But those would be two excellent add-ons to facilitate the absorption index here. So I would go for it if you can.
All right. Do you have an enzyme that doesn't have the ox bile in it?
No, we don't, regretfully. Why don't you like the ox bile? Because of the vegetarian thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can understand that. The answer is no. So you're going to have to get an over-the-counter one. And if you're shopping for over-the-counter supplements, you want to, if you have the choice between one company or another company, then you want to buy the company that has a big circular stamp on the outside of the bottle that says GMP, like Godfrey Michael Peter, GMP. That stands for Good Manufacturing Procedure. And if a company has the GMP stamp on the label, then it's probably it's hard to say, but the chances are better that what it actually has in the capsule is what it says it has on the label. If it doesn't have a GMP stamp on it and it's not a longevity product, then you're spitting into the wind. So that's the only caveat there. Now here's a poor man's way to increase your digestive enzymes. Squeeze half of a lemon into warm water and drink it at the beginning of the meal. Just chug it down at the beginning of the meal.
Okay. All right, cool.
All right.
Sounds good.
All right,
Thank
Pamela.
you so much. I really appreciate your help.
Well, you can thank me after it works. Give me a call back in 14 days with an update. All right? I appreciate you, too. Go get them, girl.
All right. Thanks.
All right. Thanks so much for the phone call. We're going to New Jersey next. Which exit, I want to know. We're talking to Jeremy from New Jersey. Welcome aboard, Jeremy. You are live.
Hi, Dr. Glidden. How you doing?
Good, thanks. Come on now. Fess up, buddy. Which exit?
Sorry. All right. The friend, his name's Keith. He's 65 years old.
Yeah.
He's 6'3", weighs 270 pounds. All right. He's had a post-liver transplant 15 years ago.
Jeez.
And he's a type 2 diabetic, and he takes anti-rejection medicine for his liver.
Yeah.
What should he take for longevity, and is it safe?
Yeah. Well, are you kidding me? Is it safe? When he takes the longevity stuff, it will make the anti-rejection meds work better.
Okay.
And people, this is a really interesting thing to talk about, right? Because prescription medications in the body, I don't care what they are, they don't work in the body, through pixie dust and dragon tails, right? Any type of pharmaceutical agent exerts its influence in the human body by using vitamins and minerals and essential fatty acids and the stuff that's in the body, because everything's made out of the 90 essential nutrients. And drugs burn through the 90 essential nutrients, and they need them to be present in order for the drug to work effectively. One of the reasons why when people are on, particular thyroid meds or particular blood pressure meds or particular whatever meds, and then they stop working, the doctor will tell you, oh, you've developed a sensitivity. Well, no, you haven't. It stopped working because those drugs burned through all of your B vitamins and you don't have any more. And the knucklehead doctor doesn't think nutrition is important, and so he doesn't tell the person to supplement. I mean, in a perfect world, it would be mandatory for pharmaceutical manufacturers to include the vitamins and the minerals and the essential fatty acids that the drugs burn through as part of the drug. I mean, that's only smart, but of course you can't expect the pharmaceutical industry to be smart when it comes to health. You can expect them to become smart when it comes to making money, and they do that very, very, very well. So there's no harm and no foul here. Your buddy will have the very pleasant experience that his medications work better when he's on our program. Now, because of the blood sugar issue, right, the best place to start with him is 2 healthy blood sugar packs a month. 2 healthy blood sugar packs a month and 4 bottles of selenium a month. 4 bottles of selenium and 2 healthy blood sugar packs a month. That would be a very good place to start. But remember, why did he have the liver transplant? Did he ever tell you?
He was in the Vietnam War, and I think it has something to do with that.
Probably exposure to Agent Orange or some crap, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, the damage has been done, so now we just have to, support and promote the health of the liver that he does have. And remember, and you might be pulling teeth with this guy, I don't know, but he's got to stop the 10 bad foods, right?
Yeah, actually wrote that down even before.
Okay, good. Now, there's another arrow in your quiver here. I don't know if you're aware of it, but Dr. Wallach a couple of months ago recorded a brand new CD. It's an audio CD. It's called Serial Killer. And it explains to people why wheat, barley, rye, and oats are bad. And so if there are people in your life as you're moving down the track, Jeremy, that give you a hard time about changing their diet, if you just have them listen to that or listen to my little webinar about wheat, barley, rye, and oats, called Against the Grain, you can forward that to people, and you can use that as ammunition to help people get on board with the diet. And the diet is very, very important here for everybody, because we're trying to fill the nutritional tank up with the supplements, and if they're eating all the wrong food all the time, we're going to be 2 steps forward and 2 steps backward. We're never going to get anywhere.
Yeah, right.
All right. So, so you never told me what exit in New Jersey you're at. Come on now.
Hey, Tom, what exit are we on? 77, 76? Yeah, around there, yeah.
God, I love New Jersey. You guys are the greatest. All right, man. Go out. What are you sitting around for? Go out and enroll somebody. Thanks for the call, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you, man. Thank you. You're amazing.
Appreciate the help. Hey, look, I love my callers. Who else has callers like this, ladies and gentlemen? Anybody? Well, Dr. Wallach does. I do. People that are committed to helping their friends and their family members get better. People willing to take a risk to look bad. People willing to take a risk to be criticized. People willing to draw a line in the sand and say, hey, buddy, look, check this out. Here's something you didn't know you didn't know. How about vitamins? How about minerals? How about some good, new-fashioned medical nutrition? That's how we roll. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We're back. This is the 9th day of April. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden, and we're going to go right now to Texas and talk to Francis. Hey, Francis. Is this the Francis I think it is? Welcome back.
This is your Francis whose life you saved.
Francis, God bless you. How is it going? Haven't heard from you in a long time. I'm assuming no news has been good news?
Well, it's been good, but it's been fair. I've been trying to help get these people to help me. Last time we talked, I was going to get an MRI because of my right arm that's still hurting a lot.
Yeah.
Well, the insurance denied it 2 times.
Yeah.
The last time they denied it, I think 3 times. But anyway, the last time they denied it, they recommended I get an X-ray.
Yeah.
And then they were going to decide. Well, I got the X-ray, and I want to tell you the results of the X-ray because now they're telling me to go to a neurologist.
So is this your right shoulder or your left shoulder?
This is my left shoulder.
How's your heart?
My heart, it's pumping good, thanks to you.
All right, very, very good.
Yes.
All right, very good.
All
right. So,
as far as I know, there are no heart problems because the last, remember I went to get the EKG, and they didn't find any evidence of another heart attack, so that was great.
All right, fabulous.
Okay.
Very, very good, yeah.
But the shoulder, we were worried about the shoulder, thinking that may have been related, but evidently it's something with my spine.
Okay.
Okay, and the results of those tests were no fracture, dislocation, but a mild spurring of acromion.
Yeah, the chromium process, yeah.
And then the recommendations, it says MRI may provide additional information if clinically indicated. Okay, that's the result from the shoulder X-ray.
X-ray, yeah.
Results from the cervical spine complete is no evidence of acute fracture, subluxation, or dislocation. However, there's mild progressive spondylosis at C5-6 and C6-7 since 2011, with further moderate disc space narrowing at these levels, with associated end-plate sclerosis, and I think that's osteophyte. I can't read that word because it's a fact.
That's osteophyte. Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. Again, noted are diffuse, moderate to severe bilateral neural foraminal stenosis.
Yeah.
Between C3-4 and C6-7. Apparently left worse than right at C6-7. Findings may be confirmed by cervical spinal MRI or CT milligram.
All right, so how much calcium are you taking every day?
I'm taking Cal Toddy and OsteoFX. I take 1 ounce of Cal Toddy and 2 ounces of OsteoFX, the last one at bedtime.
And how much do you weigh?
150.
Okay. All right. What's the nature of the pain that you're feeling in the shoulder? When does it happen, and what's it like?
It's pretty severe. It's pretty bad. I won't say severe, but it's hurt. You know, I think about my shoulder, and I usually think about my shoulder. But
when does it show up? I mean, does it show up only when you use it? Does it show up only during rainy weather? When does it happen?
All the time. It's a beautiful sunny day here, and it's really hurting. I think on a scale
And is it a dull ache? Is it a sharp? Is it cutting? Is it ripping? Is it tearing? What's it feel like?
I guess I want to say tearing.
And does anything make it feel better? Does anything make it feel better, like putting a hot application on it, putting ice on it, rubbing it, leaving it the hell alone? What makes it feel better?
The chiropractor gave me some exercises to do, and I think the exercises help. And that is rolling my back, holding it in position for a little bit, and then kind of moving my hands forward. That seems to help some, but it hurts. I don't know of any other thing. I put CM cream on it, and that does help some, but it comes right back.
Does rainy weather do anything to it?
Not that I know of.
All right, so here's what I want you to do. We're running out of time here in this segment. Here's what I want you to do, Francis. I want you, for 14 days, I want you to take 6 ounces of calcium a day. How about that? Didn't think I was going to say that, did you?
Okay.
I want to do 1, 2, 3 in the morning and 2 in the afternoon, and 1 before bed. 6 ounces of calcium a day. I don't care if it's OsteoFX or Cal Toddy. Do 6 ounces of the calcium a day and call me back. Do that for 7 days. And then call me back and let me know what happened to the shoulder. 6 ounces of the calcium a day. Call me back at the end of next week with an update. Ladies and gentlemen, wish I could stay here all day. We've only got 2 hours. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden. Looking forward to taking your calls tomorrow. Remember, fire your MD now.